Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here. Welcome back to another horror movie review. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at another one of the Friday the 13th franchise, and that movie is Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. Man, this movie was freaking awesome. But before I get into that, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm doing a collab with Strange Michael, and he is another one of the horror movie reviewers out there that, well, I wouldn't say well-known. He is well-known in the Goosebumps community because he does have a Goosebumps channel. Me and him are doing like this collab with the Friday the 13th movies. He's a really awesome guy. You guys definitely should check him out. I'll leave a link to his channel down below. So, me and him are just doing the reviews together. I'm like a movie ahead of him, but that's fine as long as we're not too far behind. Anyway, Friday the 13th Final Chapter. What is the movie about? So this picks up like the same night or the next day after part 3. And it cuts to some coroners and some doctors, or police and coroners, surveying the whole place. They're getting all the bodies out. We see Ali's body getting wheeled out, and then eventually we see Jason's body. He gets put in the morgue, and they take him there. We get introduced to a worker there named Axel and his partner, sort of like love interest partner or whatever. They're like this horny doctor couple of this movie, and he's kind of a douchebag, if I gotta be honest. He's more like annoying than douchey, but we cut to him inviting this girl, overnight to this nurse overnight to watch a movie with him and, have sex. But he's also surveying all the bodies that were there at the end of part 3, and that includes Jason. While they're making love, Jason's hand falls on the lady's leg. She freaks out, storms off. He gets all pissed because the body ruined his time. Puts the body in the ice thing, but he doesn't realize that he left the door cracked. And let's just say Jason slaughters both of these people and gets out of the hospital. Comes back to life, slaughters them, gets out of the hospital. Then we cut to and get introduced to our main characters of this film, Mrs. Jarvis, her daughter Trish, and her son Tommy Jarvis. Tommy Jarvis is one of the more well-known Friday the 13th characters in the franchise. He appears in the next 2 films. We'll get into that later on, but he's played by Corey Feldman, who is amazing in the horror franchise, or in the horror community. He was in Gremlins, he was in The Goonies, he was in a lot of stuff. And it's so amazing to see him in one of these movies. And this is the first time we actually get like a kid in this film, besides Jason from part 1, of course. But this is like the first time we have a kid as a main character, or just in most of the movie. So they're staying in like this log cabin in the country. Right across from them, some teenagers rented out a house, and we get introduced to them as well. It's like 6 of them. Then eventually we meet 2 more. And one of these teenagers is actually played by Crispin Glover, who you might know from Back to the Future and another horror film. He is very, very well known. I think he did an amazing job here as his performance. Some of the characters in here, like, Ted, Paul, Sarah. Then we get introduced to like some twins, Tina, and I forget the other one's name. But anyway, we cut to this, and Jason is actually in the route. He's on the way to their place. He kills a hitchhiker along the way. Then he finally gets there, and in the middle of the night, the whole party goes on, and let's just say chaos ensues with Jason Voorhees on the horizon. Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, was a huge step up from part 3, 2, and 1. This is definitely my favorite out of the 4. And so far in this franchise, this has been my favorite one. I think most of these characters in here are very well written, better than they were written in part 3, 2, and 1. Tommy Jarvis is probably my favorite character. Besides Jason, Tommy Jarvis is probably my favorite character. The performance of Jason is actually played by Ted White, who you might know from like a few Western films. He is also a stunt coordinator. He does an amazing job as Jason in this performance, or in this movie. Tom Savini comes back to do makeup effects, as this was supposed to be the end of the franchise. And what he said, like Michael said in a review for part 3, how Jason was sort of like a Frankenstein character. I have something to follow up on that. Tom Savini, when he came back to do it, because he was absent for parts 2 and 3, he said, I created Jason in part 1. I'm sort of like the Frankenstein. I create my monster, and then I'm the one to kill it. So that was a very interesting monologue that he had. But I think his makeup effects have been the best yet. Definitely better than part 1. The kills are freaking amazing. And the way that they changed Jason to where he's like this big, abomination of a man who like storms. He runs in this film. He ran in part 3, but this man is scary when he runs in this film. It is absolutely amazing, how he kills these people. The ending and how they finally finish the franchise, not really, how they're supposed to kill him, or how they're supposed to end the franchise, probably has been my favorite ending yet besides part 1. This and part 1 have probably been like my 2 favorite endings. Just all around, this film was very well written. Steve Miner does not come back to direct like he did parts 3 and 2. We actually get a new guy named Joseph Zito, or a new director, and he was told that this was supposed to be the last film. And of course, when they were changing the script, he realized that there's probably going to be another one. So, but I think he did an amazing job directing. He did not get along with everybody on the cast, including Ted White. But, that's the job of filmmaking and directing. You're going to have some bad blood. But let me tell you, this was a massive improvement. I can't wait to hear Michael's thoughts on it. I feel like he's really going to enjoy this. There's no more like point of view in this film, because you already know Jason gets a lot more screen time than he did in part 2 and 3, honestly. He's a whole lot scarier. He's better at planning, how he's going to kill these people. One kill was very, very violent. A dude gets impaled in the crotch and lifted upward and shot with a harpoon. That was, woo! That did made me cringe a little. But the kills are very different, and they were creative for the most part. There is one kill, though, that did bug me, and that was, I'm not going to tell you who it was, but there is one kill where it's completely off screen. All you see is the person freak out, and then we cut to another scene, and that's how they die. That was very stupid. I did not enjoy how that person died. You'll understand once you see this movie. It was that made me take some points off of this film. But, I forgot to mention, we also get introduced to another character named Rob. He is sort of connected to this film. He is a hunter, and he's camping out near the houses. He's looking for Jason because his sister Sandra was killed in part 2. I'm pretty sure that's his sister in part 2. She's the one that got impaled, like the double impalement through the bed. He's trying to look for the killer. So there's a whole subplot on that too. Doesn't really go anywhere, but you'll understand when you see the film. Anyway, I don't want to spoil this anymore. This was an amazing film. Great job on everyone with the casting and the directing. And I definitely think that this could have ended the franchise, but of course, sequels make money. And when you make money, you obviously need another sequel to cash in on it. So that has been my review on Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Amazing film. Love the poster, by the way. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd definitely give this a 9. This was very solid. Wasn't perfect. There were some mishaps. But other than that, I really did enjoy this film. But that has been my review on Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Let me know your thoughts on the movie down in the comment section below. Would love to hear your thoughts on it. Please go check out Strange Michael and my other friend Horror Channel reviews. I'll leave a link down below. to them, and I will see you guys in the next review. God bless and have a good day. Bye, everyone.